Now, Iran is vowing crushing revenge, how major U.S. cities are responding. And right here in Madison, community members are protesting another war in the Middle East. Plus, what police are saying after a robber took someone hostage at a bank over the state line last night.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 6.
Thanks for joining News 3 Now at 6. I'm Amanda Quintana. Tensions are continuing to rise tonight between the United States and Iran after a drone attack that killed Iran's top general. Thousands turned out in Baghdad and Tehran to mourn the death of Qasem Soleimani as his funeral procession began today in Iraq. CBS News' Natalie Brand has the latest from Washington.
Thousands of mourners gathered in Tehran Saturday, burning U.S. and Israeli flags, chanting anti-American slogans, and calling for revenge for the death of top Iranian General Qasem Soleimani. President Trump ordered the drone strike Thursday that killed Soleimani at the Baghdad International Airport. The president says Iran's top intelligence and military strategist was plotting imminent and sinister attacks on American diplomats and military personnel.
Under my leadership, America's policy is unambiguous to terrorists who harm or intend to harm any American. We will find you. We will eliminate you.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo says Soleimani was planning attacks that would kill a significant number of Americans, but declined to provide further details about the threat.
The decision that President Trump made to take Qasem Soleimani down saved American lives.
While a number of Republican lawmakers applaud the decision, many Democrats say Congress should have been alerted.
The operation against Soleimani in Iraq was conducted, however, without specific authorization and any advance notification or consultation with Congress.
On Saturday, additional reinforcement troops prepared for deployment from the Army's 82nd Airborne Division at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
Today, the White House sent formal notification under the War Powers Act of that drone strike that killed Soleimani. Across the country today, protests are breaking out as demonstrators rally against the United States military involvement in the Middle East. Gabriela Becerra joins us now after a protest at the state capitol today and has more on what actions those rallying want to see.
Amanda, the group rallying at the Capitol today got their message across loud and clear. They do not want the U.S. to go to war in the Middle East.
Raise your hand if you want a war in the Middle East. Nobody?
Some of those rallying say they weren't surprised by recent U.S. military actions taken overseas. One protester says he thinks the U.S.'s actions will escalate Iran to retaliate, bringing the countries to war. And others say the money that could be spent on war need to go to their own communities' needs.
I got better priorities than another war in the Middle East. I think another war in the Middle East means that the U.S. is seeking to maintain its empire, and it harms people both here at home in Madison and people abroad.
I'm a veteran who was radicalized in part, at least by my experiences. So I, along with people like Veterans for Peace, can tell you that not a single person who is out here will benefit from our military actions.
Protesters shared that this action was not caused by the Trump administration alone, but with the help of presidents prior that built the, quote, U.S. empire abroad. Yesterday, President Trump said the strike was not intended to be an act of war, but rather an act to stop a war. Over 3,000 troops will be sent to the Middle East after Iran threatened revenge.
Thank you so much, Gabby. In Green Bay, a plane slid off a taxi lane at the Austin-Straubel International Airport this morning. A representative from Delta Airlines says the flight headed to Atlanta had 101 passengers on board at the time. Officials say while taxiing for departure, the aircraft partially left the taxiway due to icy conditions. Maintenance teams are examining the plane and no injuries were reported. Well, Dave, we don't really have any icy conditions that are too bad around our area. We had a lot of sun.
Yeah, a few flurries came through last night, Amanda, and today we saw those clouds clear out. The sunshine around during the afternoon hours. Doppler track is quiet across the state of Wisconsin. A few more flurries could visit us early tomorrow morning, maybe even a little bit closer to lunchtime in some spots, but I don't expect any impacts from that round of light snow. Madison on the Edgewater Skycam looking at mostly cloudy skies right now. Well, actually, we're seeing those skies clear, but we will see the clouds move in by the next couple of hours. Our wind chill and temperature at the same reading at 27, 28 in Lone Rock, 28 in Boscobel, and in Janesville, 26 in Platteville. So those temperatures will continue to fall into the mid-20s and actually start to rise a little bit as a warm front gets closer. That will bring those clouds a little bit later on tonight. But we'll see the sunshine once again, I think, by the time we get to tomorrow afternoon. It'll be windy and milder with temperatures near 40 degrees. We'll talk about our next chance of some significant rain and snow on the way in your first alert forecast in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Dave. More local news now. A two-car crash caused major delays on the Beltline this morning. Officials say one person is in the hospital with serious injuries after their car rolled over. Two more people suffered non-life-threatening injuries. It happened around 6:40 on the westbound Beltline near Old Sauk Road. The Department of Transportation said the scene was cleared around 10 o'clock. The 76-year-old driver of a car that collided with a snowplow truck on New Year's Eve has died. The Iowa County Sheriff's Department says Catherine DeJacque was driving westbound on County Road C when she lost control of her car. Officials say the passenger side of her car hit an Iowa County snowplow truck. DeJacque was airlifted to UW Hospital where she died yesterday. Her passenger, 27-year-old Kyla Durao, was pronounced dead at the scene. Officials say everyone involved was wearing seatbelts, but the recent snowfall and icy conditions played a role in the crash. An update to a story we brought you last night. A Rockford, Illinois man is accused of sexually assaulting a woman he took hostage during an hours-long standoff with police last night. Nicholas August is charged with armed robbery, aggravated criminal sexual assault, and aggravated unlawful restraint after police say he entered a Rockford bank, threatened its employees, and took a woman hostage and sexually assaulted her. Police negotiated with August, getting him to come outside and surrender shortly before 9 o'clock last night.
It is unfortunate when situations like this occur. However, it is great that this situation was resolved without anyone being seriously injured. And law enforcement, both at the local level, the Rockford PD and FBI, work seamlessly with the various resources that we were able to deploy to resolve this situation.
August was transported to the Winnebago County Jail. He's being held on $2 million bond and was wanted on previous domestic battery charges and a probation violation. A Milton English teacher is paying thousands of dollars in fines after he was caught repeatedly going to the bathroom in a public park. Jeffrey Churchwell was cited Thursday for defecating for 2 years in a whitewater park. He told authorities he was, quote, being an idiot and that he did it for convenience and to be disrespectful. The Walworth County Public Works Department often had to clean up the mess multiple times a week. The problem got so bad the department installed a trail camera to catch the culprit.
We're relieved that we're not having to put resources into that cleanup effort and able to focus on the more important things.
Churchwell had to pay a fine of over $6,000. The school district says he's currently on leave and that he will be retiring on January 16th. In California, one person is dead after a home-built plane crashed and burst into flames in Santa Clarita. Officials say the single-engine aircraft went down shortly before 10 o'clock this morning. Flames ignited after the plane hit a tree. The FAA says the home-built plane was a replica of the famous American World War II warplane, the P-51 Mustang. The cause of the crash and the identity of the pilot, who was pronounced dead at the scene, have not been released yet. In Australia, 3 wildfires have combined, forming a single blaze bigger than the New York borough of Manhattan. The death toll is rising as conditions worsen. The Australian Prime Minister says 23 people have been killed nationwide, up from 18 earlier in the week. Melissa Rainey has the latest.
3 fires joined together overnight in the Omeo region of Australia, creating a single wildfire covering 23 square miles. That's bigger than Manhattan. But that's just one fire. There are over 200 fires burning in Australia. When you add them all up, the area burned is around 23,000 square miles, 14.6 million acres. That's the equivalent to the states of New Jersey, Maryland, and Delaware combined. The Australian Navy helping thousands to evacuate from Malakuta, Victoria, mobilizing its largest Navy ship to evacuate people along the southeast coastline.
Look, I'm feeling a bit relieved, to be honest, to get off that beach. Get out of the smoke, actually.
One evacuee described just how bad it was in a smoke-filled area.
It's 2 in the afternoon, and this is what we're in. We're going to be hanging out inside and waiting for the next air evac.
This picture of a firefighter giving water to a kangaroo, giving a glimpse into the impact the fires have had on wildlife. Firefighters from the U.S. are aiding in the fight.
Looking forward to the opportunity to reciprocate to our Australian brothers and sisters the same assistance they've given us for many years that they've come over here and helped us.
Victoria has declared a state of disaster, and New South Wales has declared a state of emergency, both granting extraordinary powers and additional government resources to battle the fires. I'm Melissa Rainey reporting.
This is the first time Victoria has activated a state of disaster since the 2009 Black Saturday fires, the deadliest bushfire disaster on record in Australia, where 173 people died and 500 more were injured. Still ahead on News 3 Now at 6, the late winter market has a new home. See just how busy it was on opening day. Next. Today was the first day of the late winter market at its new location, the Garver Feed Mill. The newly renovated space welcomed an estimated 3,500 customers today, even though they were planning for less than 1,000. When the market was held at the Madison Senior Center in the past, there were 25 vendors. Today, there were 45, giving more farmers a chance to sell this season.
Obviously, the market on the square, we have a big crowd, and there's a lot of room in that. But in the winter, if you wouldn't have something where you could vend your product, it gets a little bit more difficult. It's more private sales, that sort of thing. It's just nice to have a group of people coming together, and being able to sell like that.
Dan says the building is beautiful and he was impressed by the turnout, but parking with all those people was a big issue. There were a lot of complaints at the venue and on social media. The farmers market manager, Sarah Elliott, says there's only one way in and one way out of the parking lot. The organization is looking to ramp up communications in the future, encouraging people to not park in the Garver Feed Mill lot. Elliott says they were blown away by the support and, quote, "We thank folks for their patience. We didn't anticipate how many folks would be there." There's more on News 3 Now at 6 when a 2-year-old couldn't experience this season's snow. See how officers in Arizona helped the girl create a winter wonderland. Plus, more mild temperatures are on the way. Dave will be back with your First Alert forecast. Police in Arizona stepped up in a big way this week to bring some winter cheer to a sick toddler. They learned a family in Gilbert County couldn't make it out to see a recent snowfall in the high country because 2-year-old Quinn Walker's heart condition. So they decided to bring the snowfall to her. Quinn's doctors said the trip with the elevation would be too much for her. Quinn's mom posted her disappointment on Facebook, and local officials chipped in to help out.
Priceless. It's just overwhelming. So it's just to see her come out and have a smile and play in the snow and play with her brothers.
Police brought Quinn, who is scheduled to have her 3rd heart surgery in April, 5 tons of snow. Let's get a look at your first alert weather with Dave Caulfield. Any chance we'll get some real snow around here anytime soon?
Not without a similar type of help, I think, because temperatures are staying pretty mild across southern Wisconsin as we head into the first half of January. It really is looking like the pattern stays put in that form. And snow depth for most of southern Wisconsin, we actually have less than an inch of snow on the ground right now. Now, if you head to the northern part of the state, those numbers go way up, but it really seems like the snow, and except for the end of October and much of November, has really been missing our neck of the woods for the past month or two. Doppler track is showing a similar trend right now with some flurries and snow showers that came through last night. Really no accumulations there and pretty quiet right now. We do have a system on the way that could bring us a few flurries tomorrow morning, but not expecting any impacts or accumulations there as well. So the days keep sort of ticking on by as we start 2020 now. And it really does look like for the first half of this month, really not going to be any big snow systems on the way. But we've seen in this state that change very quickly. So stay tuned. Madison on the WISC-TV Skycam looking at clear skies right now. I expect the clouds to increase once again as we head into later tonight. Today's high of 31, so just under that freezing mark. Still about 5 degrees above normal for this time of year. Temperatures should be in the mid-20s for highs. We're going to be above normal for each of the next 10 days or so. We're close on Tuesday and Wednesday as a shot of cold air comes into town, but still with highs near 30, we're going to be above normal and then consistently in the mid-30s for highs by the time we get to next weekend. So here's your forecast for tonight. We'll be in the mid-20s by about midnight, mostly cloudy skies developing, and that will keep our temperatures steady as a warm front gets a little bit closer. We'll actually see those temperatures rise a little bit during the overnight hours. We'll be near 40 by tomorrow afternoon, so a few flurries possible tomorrow morning. Then by the afternoon, we're windy and milder, and we'll see those partly sunny skies come back. So starting off right around 30 degrees tomorrow morning. But notice those winds, that wind shift. And we get the westerly winds at about 15 to 25 miles per hour. A few flurries possible tomorrow morning. Won't be around all that long, so no accumulations expected there. And then the wind will get rid of the clouds, so to speak, so we'll see those temperatures in the low 40s for highs in Madison tomorrow, and that wind will be gusty at times, close to 30 miles per hour. As we get into Monday, I expect partly sunny skies, quiet conditions, and temperatures in the upper 30s. We'll be in the lower 30s as far as wind gusts possible by the second half of tomorrow, so hang on to your hats, folks. You might need that as we get into the next couple of days, but I think we'll still be a little bit breezy as we get into Tuesday. Not really gusts of 30 miles per hour breezy, but still a few flurries possible on Tuesday, but no major accumulation expected there. Wednesday, we're near 30 and quiet. Thursday into Friday, a few snowflakes may try and mix in with rain showers during that time frame, but temperatures really just going to be too warm for that cold air to set up, and that usually brings in those bigger snow systems, and it's really not looking all that likely right now.
So that'll just be some sprinkling and a little bit of snow, but not
nothing major on our horizon right now.
All right, thank you so much, Dave. Coming up on News 3 Now at 6, the women's basketball team trying to win its first Big Ten game of the season. Highlights next in sports. And what the CDC is doing to contain a nationwide flu outbreak, including a growing number of cases here in Wisconsin. That's first tonight on Fox 47 at 9.
News
All right, well, new year, new you. The Badgers women's basketball team looking for its first conference win, and no better time than a new year. Wisconsin closed out 2019 with 2 losses, so Jonathan Sippis definitely wants this one. We pick it up in the third quarter. Former Monroe cheesemaker Sydney Hilliard knocking down a big 3. The true freshman with 13 points in the game. To the fourth quarter now, Kendra Van Leeuwen into Nair Beverly. She drives all the way to the bucket. Badgers up 3, Beverly with 19 points. 2:30 to go now. Hilliard driving in some traffic finds Imani Lewis. Badgers opening up the lead. Lewis with 23 points, 14 rebounds. Her 4th straight double-double. She's had 6 of them all season. That's good enough for second in the Big Ten. Wisconsin beats Penn State 71-65 the final to move to 9-5 on the season. The men's team beating an AP top 5 team on the road for the first time since 2016 last night. The Badgers led by Nate Reavers on offense, scoring 17 points. But true freshman Tyler Wall also putting up an impressive performance. Greg Gott had said earlier this season that he's getting some really good experience right now, and it's really starting to show. Wisconsin also 9-5 this season, and they will host Illinois on Wednesday night. First game of 2020 for the women's hockey team as well. They're in Pittsburgh this weekend at the Battle of the Berg tournament. The Badgers facing Robert Morris as we speak, and if they win, they will play Northeastern tomorrow. Wisconsin has had a recent history of running backs from New Jersey having success on the field. Corey Clement a few years ago, and most notably, of course, Jonathan Taylor. Now, Jalen Berger wants to follow in those footsteps. The 4-star back committed to Wisconsin today at the Army All-American Bowl. He's expected to sign his national letter of intent on February 5th. From a national standpoint, the Packers have been one of the top seeds that are flying a little incognito with a lot of attention on the Ravens, Chiefs, and 49ers. But Green Bay is cool with that, despite their ugly wins. Kenny Clark says they'll just keep staying under the radar. Head coach Matt LaFleur keeping the narrative inside their locker room, saying that the Packers just have to figure out a way to stay consistent.
I think there's a balance there. You know, you always got to know who you are and what you do well, and certainly you don't want to get away from that. And you know, it's kind of funny because it seems like there's some stuff that we've done really well some weeks and then not so well the other weeks, and it's just about trying to find that consistency within our offense.
Well, head coach Mike McCarthy getting a lot of frequent flyer miles in these last few weeks. According to ESPN, he is the first official human being to interview for the Cowboys head coaching job. That happened today. Dallas fired Jason Garrett after he went 8-8 this season and had an expiring contract. McCarthy has interviewed for all 4 current NFL head coaching openings, so he's been making the rounds. Also, a lot of eyes on the wild card games tomorrow for the NFC. If the Vikings if the Saints win, Packers will play them. Otherwise, they'll play the winner of the Eagles and I can't remember off the top of my head right now. Eagles.
It's like I can't tell you. I'm sorry. Seahawks.
Seahawks, that's right. Oh my God. I was like, who did they beat?
Go.
Okay, there we go.
All right, let's take a quick look at weather.
Yeah, we got temperatures in the 20s tonight, a few flurries tomorrow morning.
All right, have a great night.